Give us all the changes from tonight.
No, I won't. I'll tell you, Q's not playing, and then you're going to make you guys wait till warm up after that, okay? But I will confirm that Byfield is not playing.
On Caleb Jones, I mean, just with the emergency situations, he here just for if somebody can't go more than anything else?
You can get to warm up for that one, okay? Q's not playing, and you'll get to warm up for the rest. We'll try to kill some questions.
Can you give us an update on Q's medical status?
No.
Is he here?
This is like hot and cold, you know, remember? You're hot, you're getting warmer, you get closer to the prize.
You're looking for
No,
legal
we're not
advice
talking
to
about
answer
we're
that
not talking
question.
about any of that. Are we done, or we got somebody got a question?
How tricky of a game is this coming off of last night where you kind of solidify where you are in the standings, but knowing that you kind of want to still keep the rhythm of what you've been doing well going into game one of the playoffs?
Right. So that's a balance. We talk about it. That one's going to come up to the players. There's no question it's different tonight than it was last night. Nobody's going to deny that. Hockey's a fast game. You got to be on your toes, or good things, don't happen. I'll leave it and say it like that. So you got to make sure you're on your toes. There's a hockey team there coming out to play against you physically. It's the NHL. They better be ready to play.
What are some of the habits you want to make sure your team has working the right way heading in?
I mean, all of them. You know what I mean? So it's just a tricky game. I think the one thing is we took too many penalties last night, so we want to make sure we get our sticks on the ice so we're not in the penalty box. If there's one thing that we can do better than we've done last night, the last couple games, that would be it.
I don't mean this to be a lineup question, but last night you said for these next couple games, you don't have the plan in place yet. You're working it out. How did you create a plan for today in such a short time?
Well, I mean, sometimes things happen and they force you to go a certain way, right? So we didn't have to have really a master plan. It was thrust upon us in a few cases. So, here we are.
Coach, is there anything maybe over the last little while that you've thought about doing, but maybe you might experiment with tonight? Maybe combinations of different guys or anything like that?
Not so much line, not so much with players. I think there's some small tactical adjustments that we've made at different times that we've tried to bounce back and forth between. Probably stuff you wouldn't pick up, and they are pretty subtle. So we'll probably try to touch a couple of those over the next couple of games. Nothing. Again, you guys wouldn't even have noticed, but it's just something for us that in game we'd like to be able to do something different if it's required. So we'll practice that.
You talked in recent days about the opportunities when Joel and Drew haven't been able to play. Is this another example of that tonight where some guys may get some opportunities to fulfill different roles and maybe do some things and maybe show you something?
Right, and I think that's a really fair. There'll be players that get a little bit more ice time tonight than typical. Players who have been wanting more ice time over the course of the season. And so, here's an opportunity. Here's your chance to get that ice time, and let's see what you can do with it. You better do something good with it, or then you got to sit quietly in the corner next time when you don't get as many minutes as you'd like, right? It's a fair point. That is the one thing, and we talked about it back there. That is the one positive, the driver, that part should be driving our team tonight.